Hi, in this lesson, we're going to look at traversing arrays. Let's go! We saw in the last lesson that an array is a list that stores a fixed number of elements of the same type. We can create these with either an initial list of values or a set of default values. We can access an array value by referencing its index. Oftentimes, arrays can have hundreds, thousands, or even millions of values. We need a systematic way to access all of these values. Arrays can easily grow rather large, and trying to access each item in the array can be a tedious activity. Fortunately, using loops creates an easy way to access all the elements of the array. In this example, we are going to look at how we can print out each element of the array. Notice that we are setting up a loop that starts at our first element, 0, and ends at our last element. Each time through the loop, we access the element at index I. As we go through the loop, the value of I increments up, starting at 0. In doing so, it allows us to access the different elements of the array in succession. The value of I serves as the index value for scores. The value in the array gets printed out. Then I increments up, and we get the next value in the array. And the process continues until we get through all the values. At this point, I increments to 5, so we will exit out of the loop. Our last time through the loop was at I equals 4, which corresponded to the last element of the array. Since we started at 0, we are able to access every element in the array. Let's take a look at another example. We're given an array of integers, and we want to find the index value where the target number of 91 exists. Here, we can also use a while loop. This is an example where we are looking for a particular value in the array and then print out which index that value is found at. In the loop, we use our index value to check the value of score against our target. Each time we don't find the value, index is incremented up. We use the while loop to check and make sure that we don't loop too far past our index values. We continue to loop, looking for our value, and adding 1 to our index each time. On our third pass, our value matches our target. When we find the value, we break out of the loop and print the results. When we set up our loops, it is important to make sure that we only loop through valid index values. In our examples, we looped through a value less than the length of our array. This results in our last value for our index to be 1 less than the length. If we are not careful, we can easily set our loops up incorrectly, and our loops will try to access an index that doesn't exist. For example, if we are looping to a value less than or equal to the length, then our last time through the loop will be a value higher than our last index and throw an array index out of bounds exception. Now that you've learned about traversing arrays, let's get some practice using them in the editor.